Welcome to BitSquad Crypto. My name is Ben. Today, I want to talk to you about Ethereum crashing. It's imminent. It's definitely going to happen. That's what the Bitcoin maximalist told us. The Bitcoin maximalist told us that when the Shanghai upgrade occurs and people can start pulling their Ethereum off of the Ethereum network that they've been using as validator nodes or staking collateral for their validator nodes, that the price of Ethereum was going to drop tremendously. And Bitcoin was going to crush Ethereum, which goes directly against what I've told you guys, which is, I believe, over this next cycle, Ethereum will be passing Bitcoin in total market cap to become the number one coin in the entire space. And I do believe that. The Bitcoin maximalist also told you, by the way, that not only would the price be crashing, but that because of the way the validator nodes were set up, and that because your Ethereum was locked up, Ethereum was centralized, and it was going to be destroyed. These people are so dumb, and they are so low IQ. They're the most elite, the most exclusive of all idiots, the Bitcoin maximalists. Guys, we just continue to destroy their narratives, and I hope you understand this will never change. The Bitcoin maximalists are locked in their way of thinking, and they cannot get outside of it. The Bitcoin maximalists are no different than the bankers. They're no different than the government. They're no different than every apparatus in the history of the world that they've tried to pretend that they are different than. And the fact is, let's go into the details about the Shanghai upgrade, what this means. Okay, so it went live today. It's live. As we speak, the Shanghai upgrade has begun. Now, but people say, wait maybe about a week to see what's going to happen, because immediately as some of these validators can unlock and sell their Ethereum, some are not going to do it immediately, but some will do it over time. But there's a really great article. God, I can't remember where it was or what website it was, but shout out to that article for reference. That really explained the breakdown of the Ethereum price and what is going to happen because of this upgrade. Now, here's what you have to understand. A lot of the Ethereum that's been staked, it's been staked on liquid staking platforms like Lido and Rocket Pool and some others, meaning that if they want to sell their Ethereum, they already could have, okay? And then you look at the amount of stakers that are what they call home stakers, which are people that just run a validator node from their home. They're not like a business. They're not running a ton of nodes. Those are the people that are the most likely to sell. And out of all of the numbers that seem to come back is out of all of the possible rewards for the stakers that could have been sold or could sell, only about 25% of those rewards are going to probably end up for sale. Now, that's rewards. That's not the total Ethereum locked up on these validator nodes. You're not making 100%, on those nodes. So what that means is that it's not like a ton of Ethereum is going to get sold off. There is certainly some Ethereum that over the next week or so that we could see the price drop a little bit. But so far, this has been almost a buy the rumor, sell the news, except for it's the opposite. People that were waiting for this to happen to short the price of Ethereum, those are the people that have been losing, because the price of Ethereum today is actually up right at about $1,900 with a small increase, of under 1% for the day, but certainly not what we were expecting to see. Now, here's the thing. This is extremely bullish for the long-term price action of Ethereum. And once again, I told you this would be a nothing burger. Why? It's like common sense doesn't exist in this space. I don't get it. But the reason why is because the people that locked up their Ethereum, they're long-term believers in Ethereum. That's why they have a validator node. Now, not the liquid staking people. People that do liquid staking, which is where you don't have the full amount for a node. So you take some of your Ethereum, put it on a protocol, you get a staked version of ETH that comes back to you that you can do whatever you want with. Like, yeah, those are not long-term believers necessarily in Ethereum. Some of them could be, but some of them are not. They don't have as much of a commitment as those that put 32 full Ethereum or more into a node or nodes. So, guys, these are long-term believers. The Bitcoin maximalists just lie to you over and over and over again. It's kind of like they just keep their fingers crossed. They're like, oh, this will be it. It reminds me of, like a New York Jets fan or a Detroit Lions fan. Like, look, great fans, okay? But every year, this is our year. Every week, this year, things are going to be different, but things always seem to work out the same. Now, those are two football teams on the rise, so maybe it'll change in the future for them. But it's like the Bitcoin maximalists are like the fan that even though everything flies in the face of logic that they just believe this time it's going to happen. This time Ethereum is going to crash because they know it's nipping at their heels and it's going to pass them. And once Ethereum passes Bitcoin, man, I cannot wait to see the narratives that will come from those Bitcoin maximalists. This is long-term bullish because, number one, now the arguments of Ethereum being centralized because people can't take their ETH off is dead. That's over. They can no longer continue that narrative. They can point back to it, but over time, it's going to become extremely irrelevant. But number two, the fact is, now that this unlock has happened, we don't have anything to look forward to on Ethereum that would expect to crash the price, right? The merge went well. The tokenomics are insane, way better than Bitcoin. And I'm here to tell you, I don't believe that Ethereum will be the number one gainer of this next bull market. I do believe it will be XRP. Ethereum's market cap is so big, it's going to be hard for it to be a top 5 or top 10 gainer for the bull market. But it's the safest. It's the safest gainer. This thing's going to continue to go up. And I'm super excited to see where the price of Ethereum goes. And if you are not in on Ethereum, you're doing it wrong. I'm telling you, I would rather see people who are not. If you don't have enough to buy one full Bitcoin, I suggest everybody gets one full Bitcoin at some point. But I know it's really hard, especially with it being around $30,000 right now for people to get that much money. But what I would like to see is I would like to see people with their portfolios have a bigger percentage or a huge percentage in Ethereum, not in Bitcoin. Using Ethereum and using other altcoins, they get massive gains. I know Ivan just tweeted about it this morning, Ivan on Tech. Like, altcoins always outgain Bitcoin, right? So it's the fastest way to get a Bitcoin is to use altcoins to run up against it. Now, we certainly may see the Bitcoin dominance drop a little bit. Excuse me, we might see the Bitcoin dominance go up a little bit. Altcoins bleed against Bitcoin over time, which, by the way, thank you to our sponsor, Stake. If you guys want to check out Stake, we have a giveaway down below in the description where you guys can sign up on twitter.com on my pinned tweet for a giveaway. We're giving away $100 to 10 different winners to go play on Stake. And also, guys, guess what? You can actually use Ethereum on Stake. How about that? Tons of altcoins. XRP is on there as well. Sandbox, your Sandbox going down. You want to go play a little bit with it? You can do that. Tons of different altcoins that they have. So you guys can go check out Stake. Like I said, link below in the description. Thank you to them for being a sponsor of the channel. But the fact is, Ethereum is going to be your best way. Altcoins are going to be your best way to really build up your portfolio in a way that is going to be very strong and it's going to gain against Bitcoin. There are always going to be times where Bitcoin outperforms the market. But the vast majority of the time, the gains with altcoins are way bigger and way more explosive than they are with Bitcoin. So that is my suggestion. The price of Ethereum, believe it or not, even though the thumbnail and the title might tell you differently, it did not crash, and it's not going to crash. And the people that are out there telling you that it will, those are the people that are going to be sadly mistaken that they did not get enough in Ethereum in their portfolio. It's kind of like this. We told you guys, dollar cost average in, or at least start putting money in your portfolio. We started in August of last year. Now, yes, August, price stayed sideways. Then November, they went way down, and we told you that was the bottom. And I hope that you added to your positions over the last 6 months or so, because it's been a great time to do it. But there's a lot of people that didn't do it because they were waiting on $10,000 to $12,000, and they really, really, really fouled up. They messed up big time, and now they're wishing they could go back in time. Do you like that, Jump? Go back in time, and they could add to their positions with all the money they have on the sidelines. That's going to be the same feeling that people have when Ethereum rallies past Bitcoin, that they only put money in Bitcoin and they did not put money in Ethereum. It is the safest bet out there in crypto. It is definitely going to be one that's going to bring returns. And over the long term, I don't believe Ethereum will be the top number one, smart contract platform over the next 8, 10, 12 years. I think it will be Cardano. There are certainly other ones that, are, vying for that number one spot. But overall, you can't go wrong with Ethereum, and the price is still going to be a major competitor. It's got the first mover advantage. As we see with Bitcoin, I think the first mover advantage is not going to be the end all be all, but it certainly gives it a leg up in this market. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Big boy out.